Hello and welcome to another episode of Displaced Yinzer's Beer Reviews. The beer I have for everyone today, it is another beer that I got from my buddy in Pittsburgh that was released from Dancing Gnome during their anniversary weekend. It's called Yam Jam, so it's their Jam IPA is a rotating IPA that it always has Vic Secret hops, and then um, I think it's Vic Secret and Columbus. Columbus is the base. Vic Secret is the regular one. And then there's variants. There's instead of Vic Secret, there's Citra, there's Mosaic, and then there's also Galaxy they've done so far. So this one actually features all five of those hops: Columbus, and then Vic Secret, Citra, Mosaic, and Galaxy. And then supposedly there actually are real yams in this. I have no idea. You can see the picture of a yam on the label. It might just be a gimmick, or I mean, who knows? They probably did put some yams in there because yams that aren't candied really don't have that much flavor, and the way they hop their beers, I'm sure it would cover up any taste of the yam anyway. So I think it's just a way for them to say that they're doing a seasonal without really doing, the whole pumpkin yam thing. So this is 6.8%, and the description on here is just an organoleptic IPA, which I don't know what that means. You always need a dictionary to understand their labels, but if that's how they want to be, so be it. Their beer's good, so I don't really care. So I'm going to crack this guy open and see what we got. So I mean, I can smell the pineapple from here as I poured it, which is always a great sign when you're sitting a foot away from a hoppy beer and you can smell it just by pouring it. It has, of course it's haze. I mean, all their stuff is really hazy, but it's not like muddy, gross hazy or that greenish brown tint to it. It really does. It looks like pineapple juice. There's about a finger's worth of head. Pretty standard. Sticks on the glass a little bit, but nothing crazy. But I'm really excited to take a whiff of this guy from just the smell that I got from opening it. So the aroma is big pineapple juice and cat pee. And I don't want people to take that the wrong way. I guess you might if you don't like that, but there's certain hops. Mosaic sometimes has that cat pee character, which I know it sounds disgusting, but to me it's a quality in a good IPA because it's just a classic thing that I get from certain hops. Excuse me. But it doesn't come off as, sometimes Mosaic can come off as like almost like dirty smelling, like sweat socky, and it doesn't have that. It's very, very clean. It's mostly pineapple, but I do get a little bit of the cat pee character as well. So the nose is certainly bringing me in. I'm excited to take a taste. So let's see what it tastes like. That's pretty nice. Sorry, I was thinking for a minute. It's definitely pineapple up front. There's a little bit of a melon character to it, but not too much to the point where I don't like it, where it seems like it's washed out hops. There is a little bit of the cat pee character, but it's minimal. There's some definitely tropical fruity peachy character to it. A little bit of graininess, and it has There is a good bit of bitterness to it, for sure as well. It finishes really dry, which is nice. It doesn't linger on the palate. The flavor doesn't, which might some people might want that juice to linger, but it does finish really dry. But it's not super bitter on the finish either. It's juice, and then the bitterness kicks in, washes out the juice, and then it's just a pretty quick dry finish. So, to me, those are the types of beers that are really drinkable. Is the ones that are juicy up front, but they have a dry, bitter finish. But they're not like a really long-lasting bitterness where you don't want to go back for another drink either. Let me go back in again. There is like a green, orangey citrus, green, like almost Amarillo hop character to it as well. It really is complex. I think it's good that there's all four of those hops in it because I'm really getting a lot of different character from it. It's hard to pull out which is which I think is a good thing. I think the sum is greater, or the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. Sorry. In this case, I wish the bitterness was toned down a little bit, because it's the bitterness does bite pretty hard. It's not that really long-lasting bitterness that you get from some of the old school West Coast IPAs, but it's really sharp right after the big juice character. The bitterness is I wish it was a little less of a punch, but the flavor is there. It's really tasty for sure, and some people might actually appreciate that bitterness. And this might sound weird or gross, but that burp I had was straight peach rings. Everyone loves good hop burps. If you like IPAs, at least you should. This is definitely one of my favorites that they've done so far. I would say it is really complex compared to some of their stuff, because a lot of it seems to either be one way or the other. It's either really juicy or really dank. And this is a good mix of like tropical juicy, citric juicy, and a little bit of the resinous cat pee character. So I think this is probably the most complex IPA that they've made. I don't know that it's necessarily my favorite, and I'm throwing Lustre in there even though it's considered a pale ale. But Lustre to me is just their best beer because it's just so easy to drink. It's not super complex, but it's so smooth and just really well balanced, which should be. I mean, it's their flagship beer. So, but this really is a great one-off. I hope they do it again. I will say that I cannot taste any sort of vegetable character or yam character. Not that I really know. I don't think I've ever had yams that were not flavored at all. So I don't know that I would even know what it tastes like, but I would assume, it's some sort of root vegetable taste, and I don't get that. So I don't really know if there's yams in it or not. They didn't really say. I'm assuming there is because I know how stupid the labeling laws are, and usually if you say something on the label, it has to actually be in the beer. So anyways, this is another great hoppy beer from Dancing Gnome. If you want to get it, you need to get it now while it's fresh. They made it just for the fall season or whatever, and for their anniversary. So I would definitely say buy it for sure. If you're in Pittsburgh and they still have some, or if you know someone who has some and you have some other local tasty stuff to trade for, definitely do it. You won't be disappointed. I'm certainly glad that I actually got 2 cans of this instead of 1, because I'll be happy to drink the other one. This is really tasty stuff. So, I think that concludes this one. I had a good time doing it. I look forward to doing the next one, and I hope to hear everyone's comments about what they think about my review in this beer. Thanks.